local gadfly, owner of St. Louis Magazine, and all-around good guy, Ray Hartman. Welcome to the show.
It's Mr. Gadfly to you.
All right, there you go. You have an article and St. Louis Magazine, and you can find it at stlmag.com, which is quite interesting. You obtained some information about the stadium deal, which has not previously been talked about.
Yeah, basically, we've all known all along the city was going to put in $6 million annually to this project, which is what it's been putting in all along.
Right.
And some people are concerned simply because this is a new project, and as you know, there was an ordinance the city had requiring this to be taken to a public vote.
Right.
The city basically sued itself, and the stadium, the city, this is Francis Slay's top economic priority, and I don't blame him for that. It's a big construction
and
project.
Governor Nixon as well.
It's a big construction project, if nothing else.
Right.
And so that's fine. And they took it to court and they won. They knocked out the ordinance, and their rationale was, look, we're already spending $6 million, so even though that money would end in 2021 when the debt's retired on the Edward Jones Dome, no problem, we'll just do it going forward. Well, it turns out they showed up at the city with that proposal, but another schedule that added another $215 million over time, to the point where the city, instead of paying 6, would, starting in the year 2021, pay about 9.5 and go all the way up to 16 million. This is the total that the city would, instead of paying 6 million, would be paying 16 million by 30 some years from now.
Right, 6 million a year now to 16 million as far out as 2051.
Correct. So it's a very different deal.
This question was put to Dave Peacock yesterday, and he said these are old numbers. They said this is old numbers. This is way old. You're not working with the latest information.
Well, according to the mayor's office, which denied it, but if you believe the mayor's office didn't know about this coming in, then you believe that the mayor's office vigorously defended its ordinance on the vote too. But the mayor's office claims it came 3 to 4 weeks ago.
Yes,
so it's not that old, and they claim it was dead on arrival. Lewis Reed's office, the president of the Board of Aldermen, insists that that's not quite the case. He says the mayor's office has been lobbying as recently as this week for this plan. Lewis had a meeting set up last Friday with the RSA people to clarify this because he had some questions, and they canceled the meeting. That was last Friday. So they have two different stories about this. But you know what? We don't need to be bogged down by the inside baseball. This is really simple. Whatever you think about the stadium, there is no question that this has been shrouded in this kind of non-information. There was a story on KMOV on the website last month about one of the aldermen he's kind of on the fence, I can't remember which one it was, saying he can't get any information. This is an alderman in mid-September.
Right.
It's really...
The inside baseball is important, Ray Hartman, because Lewis, the president of the board, said that they were going to be voting on this very issue, but yet that meeting was canceled after this story came out.
Right. Well, no. The meeting on Friday was before the story came out. That was last Friday. That's not true. But and I know people say, "Oh, you're anti-stadium." I'm actually not. I'm a football fan, a Rams PSL owner. I'd love to see us have a team. I've said all along I don't think it's going to happen, and that makes you anti-stadium by itself. I don't think any of this is ever going to happen because I don't think we're going to keep the Rams, and I don't think we've been going to get a team, and I've been saying that for years, literally. Right. I was called Chicken Little, if you remember, for saying that. But the fact is that this really needs to be done with some reasonable transparency. And if they want to do this, then say so. Then be above board and get out there and say, look, we don't have enough money to make this thing happen.
Right.
We're desperate to get it done. Here's what we need to do. But they were kind of counting on just running it, railroading it through.
You also say, Ray Hartman, in this story in St. Louis Magazine, stlmag.com, also newsstands everywhere, that the reason why these numbers are so big, so far out, is because Steve Stanger said, we want to put it to a vote, and the Stadium Task Force said, never mind, we don't want your money.
Exactly, and that's sort of emblematic of what's gone on. Stanger's not even anti-stadium, to my knowledge. He simply said, I'm not going around. Now, he had a law.
He said, I want to vote on the project.
Right, and I don't think Steve would have necessarily would have opposed it. I can't speak for him.
Right.
But he's never said anything anti-stadium.
He said on this show that he was all for it.
Oh, did he? Okay.
But he did say, I told him it has to go to a vote of the people of the county.
He's doing his job.
Right.
And the point is, every part of this, starting with the legislative piece, the Republicans are howling about this in Jeff City for the same reason. They took what should have been the expired authority of the RSA,
right,
which was set up back in John Ashcroft's day,
right,
to do the one project. They decided, well, we can just make it a perpetual stadium funding machine, and that clearly wasn't what it was set up to do. And again, it's not even about the process as much as it's about just be open and honest. And if the premise here is that we in St. Louis are standing up and we want to be an NFL city, then we ought to decide as a community that's what we want. And I'm not even sure. I can tell you this, it may surprise you. If I were voting in the city of St. Louis on $6 million a year for this project, I would vote yes.
I think a lot of people would.
And the reason I would vote yes is I don't believe in transferring millions to billionaires and all that, but we have TIFs for a lot of things in the city. If it was just a regular TIF, which a $6 million thing would kind of fall into, that's fine. But if you're going to start expanding it beyond that, then I think you need to look at being at least open and honest with the people.
It's a really interesting article, and I don't say that lightly because I hate to say that about Ray Hartman when he says anything interesting. STLmag.com, and maybe someday I'll be good enough to be on Donnybrook.
You know, we're having auditions again in next week.
Yeah,
I know the last two times didn't work out for you, but we'll try. We'll try, McGraw.
I think I can't go to Hollywood. I haven't gotten the golden ticket to go to Hollywood yet.
I'll lend you my makeup guy. No,
ladies and gentlemen, Ray Hartman. Thanks for coming in, Ray. 8:12 traffic, weather, sports next. KTRS.